to record. All right. Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm really excited to be here, and it's a privilege as well to be here. I could recall the evening when Olabanje spoke to me about this, and from there, they say the rest is history. So I'm here today to just address a simple topic, which is just user acceptance testing, and I'll be taking us through the best practices basically. So allow me to share my screen. All right, please kindly confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, yes.
All right. Um, I know Labanje has done justice to my introduction. I would just like to just take us through a bit of my journey into product management. Yes, I have a bachelor's degree in estate management, and then after school and NYZ, I was able to practice as being estate surveyor basically before I transitioned into product management. And on my first role as being a product manager, basically I was able to work in health sector basically, which is we could call it health tech, right? So I was able to work on some products that meet health workers' needs, and as well work on products that is just basically for WHO, but then it was towards a need at Botswana basically. And right now I'm with Bespoke, where we addresses everything that has to do with tax, all the tax platforms and what you have and the likes. Basically, that's what we do. So let's just dive into what we have today. User acceptance testing. Just to address something basically for my journey, I would say I've been privileged to facilitate UAT, that's user acceptance testing, and I'll be mentioning them alongside as I proceed with my presentation. I'll be making references to the experience and what happened. So just to mention, the first product that I worked on or to conduct a UAT on was a product for Botswana. Basically, it's innovation platform where health needs could be submitted for stakeholders to grant access to, or conduct proper research on that. And then the other one was a VR application, that's a virtual reality application, also to meet the needs of health workers, particularly those in the maternity ward. Basically, that's what the product is all about. So moving on. So what are we addressing today? For here, our introduction is just basically to talk about user acceptance testing. Planning UAT rather, it's something that it's just mandatory for you as a product manager. Okay, it's one of the key things you need to do to show that you know your onions. Basically, it's one of these critical steps in software development process, right? After the whole gathering requirements, prototyping, development, testing here and there, deployment and the likes. Before you go live, it's important that you just do these tests. That's what we call UAT. And I also mentioned, and I also want us to know that UAT plays a vital role in ensuring product quality and customer satisfaction, right? Even though you might have exciting features or your app is very friendly and user friendly, like everyone can navigate through, or you just think everything here is cool, but then it's not for you, it's for the end users, right? So you need to know that what you've built is satisfactory to your audience. And lastly, it's important to know that UAT is a pathway to product perfection through proper planning and execution, right? It's just the same way you are preparing for an exam. You just need to, do a lot of practice, a lot of reading and the likes before the due date where you have to examine or get examined basically. So UAT is just a pathway to perfect your product, right? You just want to check the quality. You want to know if it meets or if it suits the audience basically. So what exactly is UAT? Permit me to just keep using UAT rather than saying the whole full definition, right? So UAT is a test that end users or customers perform to ensure that your software, your application meets the specific requirements and expectations, right? You want to check if your end users could make use of your platform, if they can relate with it, if their needs are met, basically. And also, it's important to know that usually you have this particular test done at the point of you launching, right? Just before launching, rather. This is the last test you need to do. I understand that there are other tests that need to be done as your developers are building the features in sprints. As you organize your sprint section, right? You want to check, okay, for this sprint, everything, is it in order? Is it working perfectly? If I click on this, is it giving me the right result? Or let's say you've integrated a third party API, you want to know if everything has been properly synchronized. So this is at the point where you test the whole platform or maybe a particular version of the platform that you're planning to launch, basically. And then another thing you should know about UAT is that it's basically to check if it meets with the business requirement, right? So now, where I've worked so far, our product has been targeted towards a particular set of people. It's not really like the way we have money points or the way we have boats or the way we have Instagram, that it's just regular person out there that make use of them. It's about a particular target of people. Like I mentioned earlier, where I started my product management career, it was a health tech industry, right? And most of the things we're working on, most of the projects and products we're working on are for they are for health workers or health stakeholders, that is Ministry of Health. So we want to ensure that your product meets the stakeholders' requirements. You want to ensure that the codes are faultless, right? You want to know that everything is perfect. Everything just, at the same time you're considering your end users, at the same time you want to consider your stakeholders. Because take for example, when I said we work with WHO for Botswana, right? We, in as much we were dealing with Ministry of Health at Botswana, we need to carry WHO along. We need to ensure that what we are doing met their standards as well. So those are the reasons why UAT is important. Right. Benji mentioned this while giving the introduction. If I will touch usability testing and user acceptance testing, right? And here we have it. So there's this misconception that people have about the two tests. They think they are all the same, but they are not. They're just similar. So I'll be using certain features to differentiate between usability testing and then user acceptance testing, right? So by definition, you would say usability testing helps to check the interface, the navigation, the user experience, the elements, and the colors, the flow, and how that is in a product or in the application. Whereas in UAT, you want to verify and you want to validate if the software meets the functions or the requirements outlined at the conception of the product, right? At the stage where you are editing or the brief was given to you or to your firm, as the case may be. You want to verify if the performance of the application meets what is needed. Okay. Please, just want to confirm. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. Okay, moving on. So you want to address the next feature about the differences, which is the goal. Usability testing, just to identify the usability issues. Like I mentioned earlier, the interface, the navigation, the user experience, the element, the colors, and the flow of activities. That is what you want to identify here. You want to see if the user experience is smooth, is perfect. You want to see, or you want to check if you could even enhance the software design, right? And then for UAT, you want to check if the software meets the business requirements and achieves the desired outcomes. You want to say, okay, does it even fit? Like I said, where I work currently, we handle the taxation or tax platform for states, right? So we want to know, okay, are the revenue officers or the stakeholders that use this platform want to know if they can actually get their things done. You want to see if they can able to, calculate tax for the citizen or for companies. You want to see if they could generate the right amount. That is the desired outcome, right? So you might not necessarily need beautiful interfaces. You just want to see that, yes, a user can get the job done using the software, right? So moving on, the next features of I wish to differentiate is the testing time, right? So usability testing, right, happens at different stages. Happens at the point of you moving on your versioning, right? Let's say you had your MVP first, you want to test, you want to see can users use this platform? What can we do to improve this platform? Okay, should we take this out? Is this flow okay? At those stages where you are just releasing your product by versions, you want to do usability test because what you are checking for is the user experience. Yeah, and you just want to confirm if it meets the goal, right? But then for UAT, this is conducted towards the end of the software development lifecycle. This is when it's going out. It's going out to the stakeholders, going out to the real user out there. You want to check everything. I don't know what our experience level are, but I would say, from my experience, I would say that as we develop features, as we roll out features, right, we just test them on its own. Then we have the quality assurance team do their own testing, and they have tests like regression test, you have speed test, you have functionality test that they all carry out. That's the quality assurance team. That's what they will do, right? But they might not necessarily take the whole product as a whole. Okay, let's do the whole entire test. They will just test for that section of the new upgrade that you've done to your system. Then also another features to differentiate is the testers, right? So for usability testing, you need usability experts. Yeah, I know it's not common around us here, but they are usability experts. What they do is just to check if this product a random user or a layman can use it. They'll just give their own opinion. They'll give their opinion, and then what they feel about it, they'll record it and give to you. Another set of people that do this test is the UI designers, right? You might want to ask, okay, how come UI designers are doing tests? Yeah, they do this test because they want to see that without them telling you this is a process to add a profile picture, you can actually get it done. They want to see if you can relate with the icons, with the pictures, with the tabs and the widgets that are on your screen. They want to see if you can do that. Then lastly, also the end users also that will interact with your platform, they also need to test because it's meant for them, right? That is when the value that's when you get to the end of the value chain. They are the core users of your platform. So you want to ensure that you are delivering value to them. So you need them as well to do this test. And then for UAT, you want to have the end users as well, the business representatives that, like I said earlier, when we had UAT for UAT, we had their representative also on ground. They also needed to test the platform. They also need to know what exactly we are testing, what we are doing, not just the Ministry of Health over there. They needed to to be there to address what they feel about the flow and the whole requirement. Then you might have subject matter experts who will perform reward tasks. Now, permit me to also cite another example. Yes, while I was still at the health tech industry, I also worked on what is called EMR, which is electronic medical record system, and that is used in hospitals, used in clinics, like that. So in that case, the end users are doctors, nurses, lab technicians. I think there's noise from someone over there. Okay. Yeah. So you have the doctors, the lab technicians, you want to have the pharmacy aspect of the hospital. They are also experts in their own field and they make you. So they want to engage with your platform. They want to say that, yes, I can get the order. Okay, the doctor ordered this patient to get paracetamol. I can see it from my hand. I can tell that okay, we have five quantities left. I can tell that for one quantity it is 100 naira. You understand me? They want to know, they want to engage with your platform to say yes, this is useful for them. And then lastly, last feature we use to differentiate between usability testing and UAT.
Hi, Monjola. Sorry to cut you short. Oh. Your screen is not moving forward, so I don't know if you are moving your screen forward. So it's just
Oh,
staying on the first slide.
okay. What can you see currently?
User acceptance testing, the first slide.
Wow. All right. Let me stop sharing and share again. Can you see it now? Or kindly confirm what you can see.
Yeah, key difference between usability testing and user acceptance testing. Yes, and I don't know if you can also see like a full screen mode, so that we can see the full screen.
What about now?
Not in full screen mode yet.
Oh, and it is over here. What about now?
Still not in full screen mode.
Okay. Just just give me a minute, please. Okay. Please confirm.
Yeah, now in full screen mode exactly.
Oh, apologies. Oh, all right. Don't worry, I would
Okay.
share the
Okay,
slide.
can you change your screen just to be sure that you can swap your screens and we can see it here? If
Okay.
you change the slide. Okay, yes, exactly. Now we are seeing all the slide changes.
Oh, so sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem at all.
All right. So I was at feedback feature for differentiating usability testing and then UAT. So for usability testing, you want to, I mean, the main focus is the subjective feedback, right? You want to see user satisfaction, you want to see their frustration, you want to know about their experience. That is what it entails for usability testing. And then for UAT, it's focused on the objective feedback. They want to check for defects, they want to check for issues, they want to check for discrepancies if what they have on system. They want to check what they have on system is against the business requirement or the user requirement. That's what it's about. All right. So why do you need UAT? Why do you need to conduct user acceptance testing? First, you want to measure the performance from the user perspective. You want to hear about their concern. You want to hear what they love most, what they don't like, where they are having issues, where they think you could improve on. Note, this is not them telling you to add a feature or something. It's based on what you've told them to carry out, the test you told them to carry out, because I'm still going to get to that point where you have to tell them this is what this test is about. This is what you guys need to check. So we'll try to manage them not to go overboard or not to go over what you didn't expect them to do, what you didn't expect them to check. So you want to measure the performance of the software from their own perspective, right? Then you also want to identify usability issues. You want to note if a particular, sorry, Olabanji, can you mute? I don't know. Someone had there is interfering with my audio.
Yeah, sorry about that. I've removed the person.
All right, thanks. So, you want to identify usability issues, right? You want to know if a particular task can be done. We have for product managers here, we have what is called a task flow, right? I think yesterday our speaker talked about user journey mapping, user flows, and the likes, right? And let's say another level to it or a sub level to it is task flow, right? To carry out a particular action, if it is just to change your settings from light mode to dark mode, that is a task, right? It doesn't mean it's a user journey flow to get the whole entire thing done or to get the whole entire value from the product. You just want to perform a task. So you want to identify usability issues. Okay, they can't log in, they can't get their recovery password and the likes. You want to know that. Then also you want to gain user feedback. The ultimate goal of UAT is to hear from your user. You want to know where do they stand in this, or where does your product stand with them, right? And also you want to ensure customer satisfaction. You want to see them smile. You want to hear them say, oh, this is a great product, I enjoy using it, I like this about this. Oh, the speed is awesome. If I call out for this need, it pops out immediately. Or you want to say, okay, I don't even need to click on this thing. The overlay, the display that comes out explains what this particular tab means. You just want to hear, you want to see the satisfaction basically. So moving on, we want to address planning for user acceptance testing. So there are key steps, right, to get that done. So we have 3 right here. The first one is you want to define the test objectives, right? I mentioned earlier that you need to tell them, or you need to prepare that, oh, this is what you are testing for. This is what you are addressing, right? I understand that UAT is the last stage, is the last test that you do before deployment. So which means you're literally going to explain or create documents or orientate them about this test. This is what it's about. And sometimes UAT is not just a one-day event, to be sincere. It's not, because it depends on how large your platform is or your application is, how large you want to test the new or updates or the upgrade you've done to your system. So sometimes you might need to first have sections whereby you maybe virtually or physically orientate your user that, okay, we are rolling out this set of features. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is what they do. We are sharing you with these documents. Go ahead to read through, understand it, so that next day you won't have to keep calling us. Of course, we'll be there, right? You just want to let them be aware of what they are coming to do. You want them to have a feel about it. Not that it's on that day, they'll just, see your system and then get confused that, okay, what exactly is the system doing? What am I supposed to do, right? So you want to clearly outline what needs to be tested. You want to outline the goals for the testing phase. You want to talk about the, specific aspects that you need to check, if it is the navigation, the functionality, or just the overall experience. And then the next thing you want to do is to select your testers, right? There are diverse group of real end users representing your target audience. It could be your stakeholders. It could be the team in your stakeholders that will be using your application, and it could just be, the normal day-to-day users, depending on your kind of product, right? You want to select them. You don't just want to call random people out there that, okay, because I know you guys are, you just want to call somebody that is tech savvy. No. What if your product is addressing a particular niche? You don't want to call a random person. You want to call someone that, would be able to say, this is what I need. This is the value I'm expecting from your product. So you want to select them carefully. Even in your stakeholders, you don't just want to call the people that they've not been following or coming for your sprint reviews all this time. You don't want to call someone that doesn't even know what is going on for your testing, because the person might just come and say, no, this is not what I expected, because they've not been following up. So you want to be selective. You want to call the right set of people to test your platform, right? The next thing is you want to create test scenarios and the tasks to be done, right? So now it's not going to be basic like, oh, let's check if let me think of a feature right now. Let's check if the view history feature is working. You understand? That's too basic. You want to create real life history. You want to tell the person that, okay, you know what? Go to your browser, do this, perform this, perform this, perform this. Then check your history. Can you find them there? Can you do this there? You want to create. We have examples that we're going to work with actually in the next slide, basically. So you guys can get a proper understanding of creating a test scenario and tasks. It could be a lot, to be honest. As a PM, you know that one of your skills that you should have is documentation skills, right? You need to know how to document things properly. So for a successful UAT, you need to write, you need to type things out, you need to put things as basic as it is. That's why it's important you don't compound your writing. I understand that stakeholders could be on our necks. Okay, you need to ship this, you need to do this, you need to get this done. And then you might just feel like nobody's checking it, nobody's going to look at it. But to be honest, by the time you get to this phase, you will need those things. Because you can imagine if there is a change in requirement at the time of development and you've not, added it to your change log or maybe your PRD. By the time you are creating test scenarios, you might miss out on that features, right? So you need to just document properly. So you want to set out the tasks for the past months. You want to highlight what needs to be done. So the example here, our test goal is to evaluate the navigation and functionality of a video streaming platform. So let's say we want to have a UAT right now, and our goal for that UAT, right, is just to check, to evaluate the navigation and functionality of the video streaming platform. So we have our first task here, which is the user registration. So the scenario we want to print is just to verify that the user registration process is perfect. And then you have the steps here. Now, allow me to take you back a bit to usability testing, right? I said there are two different things. For usability testing, you don't give your user the steps to get the things done. Of course, you will explain to them, oh, this is what we are doing. I want you to do this. You just have to provide your platform to them. Say, okay, I want you to do this. And you want to observe. Either you are physically there or there's a video recording section, or maybe all activity that's been done in the system is being recorded. You just want to say, oh, this button is confusing. Oh, this thing is not supposed to be here. You don't necessarily need to tell them this is the step. You just want them to perform actions that you've asked them to do. That's for usability testing. But for UAT, you want to teach them, you want to tell them this is the steps to get this done. So let me just chip in here this day as well. So when we had to do UAT for our VR app, so it's a VR game, like I mentioned, for health workers and particularly for people in the maternity ward. So it's just for them to take care of the mother and the baby, particularly the one that just gave birth, the after birth scenario. So the essence of that application is to help the health workers familiarize themselves with environment, with things that needs to be done, not until when they get into the real theater, when a live baby and live mother is on bed and they don't know what to do. So the goal is for them to engage with that particular game and have a full experience of it. Okay, they are in the room and then they are doing this, they're cutting the umbilical cord, they are dressing this, they are ensuring that the baby is alive and stuff like that. So that's what the game is about, right? Or the application is about, but then it's still quality game. So in that case, we had a how-to for different levels of the game. We have them written out. So the day before or even prior before that time, we've sent it to them for them to even understand, okay, this is what you're doing, this is what you're checking, these are the steps. Even in the game itself, there's a feature for you to just check what's the next thing I'm supposed to do, right? So those are the steps that you need to provide for your testers, basically. And then using this first example, let me just go back to it. So the expected result for the user registration is the user should receive confirmation email and be able to log in after successful registration. So that's that for that. And then second example is to browse content on the video streaming platform. So the scenario that we have here is to verify the ability to browse available content, which means there are contents on display on your screen, but then you want the user to go through it and perform a particular thing. So now the steps we want them to take is to log into the platform, navigate to the content library or the categories as the case may be, select a specific category or search for the particular content. And then what we expect you to have is that user should be able to view a list of available movies, shows within the selected category or search. So if this is not achieved, the tester is expected to record what exactly is wrong. Or could it be that after searching, or I couldn't find what I searched for again, or the array changes maybe from alphabetical order, or no, there are so many things that could be involved. You just want users to give their feedback on that. All right, let me move on. So now that's for planning UAT. Now executing it. This is where you have the due day where the test is going to happen. So we have the conducting the test, right? So the testers execute the planned test scenarios and report their findings. So which means they don't go beyond what has been written. They don't feel like, oh, because this feature is there, I can see it, so I want to go and test it. No, if it is not in the items or the tasks to be done, they don't need to do that. Okay, so you want to ensure that the testers execute the planned test scenarios and they report their findings, which means you have to be there. Even if it is virtually that it's been done, maybe you, depending on the agreements, maybe you will be the one even taking the notes, maybe you with your team, you might be the one taking the feedbacks or noting things down that, oh, this page is not loading, it's giving a 405 error, 404 error, as the case may be. And then next thing is recording results. Yeah, you want to document test results. You want to include issues found and their severity. So now, I understand that on the due date, you might not be able to put everything together in the right template or in the right structure, because it's just you're hitting the ground running, you are doing it at that instant, they are doing it at that instant, and you just need to put things down. But then you need to document it in a better format. You need to document in the right format whereby you can say, okay, these issues are front-end issues, these issues are back-end issues, this is server issues, this is a third-party API issues. You just want to categorize them and then add the severity to it. Even if it is a user experience issue, you want to say, oh, this button is too small or this button is too big. You want to set things right in the right sections based on your format. You know, different organizations have their own format of recording results, right? So based on your office format, and if your office doesn't have, well, that's where it's less for you to make your research and find a suitable format for your kind of product. Oh, let me go back. So now the last thing in executing a UAT is collaborating with your testers, right? You want to engage with them to gather feedback. You don't just want to feel like they are all by themselves, or they just need to do it and then you collect the result at the end of it and then you call it a successful UAT. No, you need to engage with them. Oh, excuse me, how is it going? Any difficulty? If they are the one actually, going through your platform by themselves, and if it's like, okay, they are watching it or something, I don't know, you just need to be with them. You need to understand, get insights on their user experience particularly. Some people could have just technical issues. It might not even be with your platform. It could be that, oh, their system is misbehaving, or the device you gave them to use for your testing. For example, now that's VR game, you have to get them an headset, right? Oculus headset. So it could be that there's an issue in the placement of the mobile device they are using to play the game. It could be something like that. You just need to be there to engage with them and get proper feedback from them. So we're getting close to the end, but now we have the common challenges faced during UAT. The first one is the improper test planning, right? Planning is just, I don't know, planning is just the key thing. Because if you don't plan, just know that your UAT might be faulty. I understand that there's always this rush of we just need to ship things out there, we need to move. Oh, this thing has been delayed, should have been shipped since last month and stuff. There's that urge, there's that way of you just want to do things and move on. Even it could be your team lead or your CEO, depending on your company, could be the one, being on your neck that, okay, we need to do this, and then just like, let's just do it sharply. We've done it before. No, you need to plan. You need to address matters. You need to get your documentation right, because your documentation is what gives direction. You might feel like, oh, we'll talk now, we will orientate them, someone will present to them, and then they will understand it. No, you need to get the list. If it is, you need to send stuff to their email or slides to them before the particular day. You need to do that. And that's actually intertwines with the communication gaps, right? So that could be external and could be internal, right? You don't want to do UAT and your developers are not aware. You don't want to you don't want to do it where something could just be broken. You know, when you are doing UAT, right, is on the testing environment. It's not on live yet. And testing environment. It's not even on the local where your developers work or anything. It's on the and anything could happen. It could just be even that morning of your test that something could just happen to the system. You don't want to start looking out for them. You want them to be on ground. I remember there's times that there are some softwares that you're dealing with that there's a backend check that something cannot be delivered to somebody if this person is within this state. You understand? So at that instant, you might not even know that is there. You might need your developer, just please at the back end, put a dummy data for this thing there, or fix this error message, or this error message keeps appearing on the screen and it's creating issue. You want to communicate with them. Even your testers, like I said, you need to let them know what they are doing. I remember, one of the places I've worked, right, we have a conference room that everyone lobbies for. You just see them on Slack. We say, so room will be occupied from so hour to so hour. You see people putting it out there. You want to know that you have everything prepared. You don't want to wait till when it's that time to start looking for the venue. You just want to communicate with everybody that's important, either it's internal or it's external. Then also another thing is the scope creep. So now that's basically about going beyond what was stated as the goal or the test scenarios for this particular test. You don't want that to happen. Particularly that happens with stakeholders, not even your end users, because your end users are probably seeing your platform for the first time, aside from the document you sent to them for them to understand, right? But stakeholders could be like, no, this is not what we asked for. Or this feature is there. Let's test this as well. It should be working. This one, that one. No, you want to ensure that doesn't happen. All right. You want to ensure that everything you've listed, the test scenarios you've listed are what is being maintained and what is being tested, right? So before we get to the question and answer section, the key takeaways that I want us to have, it's just summarized into these three points, which is the importance of well-planned and executed user acceptance testing, right? You can only execute what is properly planned. If you don't plan properly, right, if you don't plan well, you will just find yourself being stressed out. Normally, even when you're in development stage, you are stressed out already. Now you can imagine now for you to test, for everybody to engage, to give you good reviews of, wow, this is what you've been working on over 2 months, awesome stuff and everything. And then you are not prepared. You've not planned properly for it. It's just like everything you've done, all your effort at that time will just be zeroed out, right? So it's important that you plan accurately. Speak to your stakeholders, speak to everyone that needs to know about what is happening, even your teammates, your colleagues. You just need to let them know anything you need, let them be aware. Then role of effective communication and collaboration among stakeholders, right? That is important. That's important. Let them know, this is what we are doing. This is the day we are doing it. See, I don't know if you have people working with the government here, but I can tell you that working with government it's not simple, because you guys could have planned something now and then the next thing is they will cancel it or they're shifting it and all. So you just need to keep that communication tab open with them to just know this is what we are doing. We are doing tomorrow. So some people needs to be there. We are coming to your ministry. You just need to keep the communication open with them. And then the last one is integration of UAT in agile development for continuous improvement, right? So you want to do this at every point you need to launch a version of your product. You want to integrate it into it. You don't want to be like, should we've tested these new features. They are working right. Yeah, let's just move on. Let's just ship it. Let's just know. You just need to do the proper testing. All right. So thank you so much for having me. I think we can all have come up with questions at this point. Over to you, Olabanji.
Okay. Thank you, Munjola. Just thank you for sharing these ideas on usability test. I say usability testing, on user acceptance testing, and I like that one of the first things you talked about was to differentiate between usability testing and user acceptance testing. Because even for me, I have to be saying, okay, what's the difference between these two guys, right? So maybe me, I should throw my own question to you while others. Please, if you have a question, please, you can raise up your hands, right? Anybody, if you have a question about what Monjola has just, helped us to break down the context of user acceptance testing, right? So I do have two questions that I want to throw to you while others are trying to come up with their questions. Now, what's the difference? You differentiated usability testing and user acceptance testing. How does it differ from beta testing? That's my
How does
first
it differ
question.
from what?
Beta testing, BETA, beta.
Okay,
Like your
better.
beta,
Okay.
yeah, beta testing. Is there a difference between them? If there's no difference, then okay, that would be great. But if there's a difference, can we get an idea of what that difference is? Since there's a slight difference between usability testing and user acceptance testing. And then my second question is, which do we product managers now focus on? Right? There is UAT, there is usability testing, there is beta testing. Are we, from your experience, right? Do you think we should do all three if they are different, or do you think that maybe in certain situations we can do more of usability testing than UAT, or in certain situations we do more of UATs than usability testing or beta testing? So those are my two questions. Is there a difference between beta testing and UAT? And then
Okay.
in what situations do we do either of these three different types of testing, or in every product are we supposed to do all three different types of testing in all
Okay.
in all situations? Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you for that question. So, in some places, we will refer UAT as better, and some people separate them. What do I mean by that? So, UAT is supposed to be a closed door test, okay? But then some classify it as beta testing because alpha test is the one that has been done with your developers, your quality assurance team, or people in your company, right? But now we are moving out of your company, we are moving out of your product team. We are trying to engage with real users. That's why we can say it's UAT and it's better. So in some cases, some will even roll it out there. Like I would say WhatsApp now, I really don't know how they do all their own, but you could say that sometimes they roll out features for some set of people, real-time users, and on their platform after maybe you've used the feature, you see a pop-up, you say you should rate it or should give you feedback on it. Do you get? So it's used interwoven basically. So I won't say there's pure difference between beta testing and then UAT. That's for the first question. Now, for the second question, I would say that it's based on the kind of product you are building. All right. So, like I mentioned, I've not been able to work with product that is just merely for every other person out there, like random person from maybe age 18 to age 60. No, I've been working on product that it's for a set of people. It's set for workers in the Ministry of Health, set for people in the medical field. You understand? So in that case, you might need to just focus on UAT. Aside from the alpha testing, which is the test you are doing in your company, which is the normal test. Okay, we've done this feature, check it, is it working? Is anything breaking? Those ones, you might move to UAT. But then if your company is that you know work on product that is used by all the other person, right? You might say that, oh, after doing the in-house testing, right, you need to call in a set of users, or you just want to have people that they have this access to engage with these features before it's being rolled out to everyone out there. So I don't know if I've answered your questions as you expect.
Okay. Yeah, I think you did. For the first one, you said that there's no much difference between beta testing and UAT, right? And then for the second one, it's that it's going to really depend on the situation that we find ourselves and the kind of industry or
Yeah.
products that we are working on that will determine whether we are doing all three types of testing in terms of UAT or usability or beta testing. Okay. Okay, thank you for sharing. So I don't know if any other person has a question. Please let's ask our question at this point in time. Any questions? You can raise up your hand if you have a question. Any question for Monjola? Any question on user acceptance testing? Any question? Any question? Any question, guys? Oh yeah, you guys don't have question. There should be question now. It's been almost an hour of conversation, right? And Monjola has shared some very simple, straight to the point insights on UATs. Right? I like how he didn't make it complex. I know it can be more complex than that, but Monjola did a very good job in sort of breaking it down in very simple, easy to understand bites. Right? Especially if you're like a new product manager who is just starting out. I want to believe that this must have been pretty straight to the point. So if you do have questions, please you can raise. Okay, I can see some hands now. Okay, let's start from Toby and then we'll come to Eniola. Toby, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Mujala. Thank you for that insightful lecture. Just also, my question is just based on your experience. You're talking about UAT for agile practices, and it's coming to my head to ask. So, do you, based on experience, do you advise if UAT is done after every feature has been completed, based on the way you structured your roadmap or the product you are building, or probably after the milestone is done, or when the MVP is being gotten, like based on experience, when do you advise that UAT comes to play with agile practice?
All right. Thank you. So we could have two arrangements basically, right? The first one could be that maybe after a milestone, right? And also it could be after when you need to ship it out there. I want to say it's not every time once you've done with a particular set of features or a particular milestone, you need to go live. Mhm. Right? You might want to wait a bit, maybe because you've checked your market, you've seen, okay, this is the best time to launch these things. We've been doing this thing at this time, but it doesn't mean that we just want to rush it and put it out there. Okay. And then, like I mentioned, your type of industry also comes to play. Okay. You want to know if at this point what we are trying to update has been a request. Take for example an EMR, which is electronic medical record system. Let's say you are doing an upgrade to the system, and you know that for those that are subscribed to your platform initially, they've been telling you that, oh, it would be nice to have a receipt generator on the software. Okay. Now that you've done it, you won't want to wait because it has already been asked for. So you just want to have it tested and say, okay, get the number of people, your stakeholders, and then your users already. Okay, can you see this is what we've come up with? Is this perfect? Is this okay? If it's fine, you roll it out, which means it is out for those that are currently use your EMR, and for those that you intend to probably market or other market share you like to obtain. You understand? So it's in those two areas. Toby, did I answer your question right as you wanted?
Yes. Thank you very much. Just needed that. Thank you.
Okay, Idris, can go ahead, please.
Sorry, Mojola Jesu, sorry. Mojola Jesu. I wanted to ask if, with your experience in the medical aspects, when you just spoke about the EMR, what would you say is best? Just your opinion, no? Would you say an EMR that is online or an EMR that is offline?
Okay, I would say online. You know why? You want a real life update of the report that's been written over a patient. Okay, then you could have it that even when there's no internet, the way your system architecture is being designed is that there's a database that saves the information saves, and then the moment you are connected to internet, it's plugged in back to the cloud. Did you get that?
Yeah. So you're trying to say you can have both, where it can be online, but in-house when there's no internet, it can still function.
Yeah, and another thing is, intranet, that is, if all systems in a particular location is connected to one particular network, you can have a real-time live, I mean, a real-time update of all information that's been entered into the system, okay? But then, because you might have hospitals that have branches across um, country, right? So you can't expect the same Wi-Fi that's being used here and that's connected to it. But then you need it to be recorded in the system. However, if the patient is being transferred to
Sorry, you're cracking up.
oh, okay. What was the last thing you heard, please?
Um, in where you have different branches.
Yeah. Okay. So I said, let's say you have a branch here in Abuja and then another one in Lagos. So you want to, even though here in Abuja they are using a particular internet, the ones in Lagos they don't have access to the internet. Okay, so they might not see the real time update that has been done. But when you know that it's integrated also into the cloud, they can have it because sometimes you might have your patient being transferred or they have even relocated. So they don't want to start afresh, registering themselves and everything. They just want to say, okay, this has been my record for my engagement with your hospital in Abuja.
Yeah, I think I understand. See, where I work here, it's always been an argument. Most of the engineers sometimes, yeah. But sometimes where I come at times is that, do you know, sometimes the information you release online is better, no caps. But sometimes the information for that particular hospital, the data from that particular hospital is being released online. Do you understand? Like, it's free data. When it's online, those data from that hospital is being is like you're giving out free data to people to just source from.
Mm, I won't entirely agree to that. I think it's based on how you structured your back end, sincerely. You understand?
So are you saying like from where like the servers, those servers where they are, or
Exactly,
where
the server. Because you need to, it's one thing that hospitals don't joke with or medical people is their data. They don't just want it to be out there.
exactly?
Privacy, yeah. So,
Although you don't know who is extracting it at the back end of the server, you don't know whether they are using your data or not.
well, true. That's why when you are getting a company, you are signing an NDA, right?
Well, I just said let me bring that in. All right,
All
thank you
right,
very much.
thank you. Yeah.
How do we connect to you, please? Because I would like to connect.
Oh, okay. I would I would drop my LinkedIn profile there.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
All right. Olabanji, you can go ahead, please.
Okay, hi Munjola. Hi, thank you everybody.
Okay, we have hands up somewhere.
Hi Munjola, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think someone's raising up their hands.
Okay. Okay, I can see somebody's hands is raised. Okay, let's take this final question. Hello, Paul. Can you hear me? Hi, Paul.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thank
Okay,
you
good
so
evening.
much,
You can go ahead to your question here.
Monjala. I'm just wondering, will the slides be available to us? The slides you presented, will they be available to us?
Yeah, yeah.
How will they be available?
I will share with Olabanji. I think Olabanji would maybe share to the group.
Okay, and also, just a random question. If we're looking for interns, like what's the scope of, I guess, their knowledge that you should expect from them for anyone that's trying to be a quality assurance intern, a tester intern, yeah.
Okay. For hinting, I think first is know your tools. Okay. I believe that quality assurance testers they have tools that they make use of. Okay. So if you can prove that yes, you know your tools and you could do that. That should probably land you an internship role. I don't know if Olabanje has an addition to that.
Sorry, do QA testers have to be technically inclined? And when
Yeah,
I mean
yes.
I mean codes, like full
Like
time.
Cypress and Selenium, yeah. But I'm just wondering for an intern, like, what is the scope? Are they supposed to, as an intern, should they know these tools like Cypress, Selenium, Postman?
Yeah, just have a basic knowledge, okay? So that it's not like when you're being asked, oh, can you do this or can you do that? And then you're just looking at the screen, you can't. I think everyone wants to hire someone that will bring value to them, okay? So
True.
since you coming in as an intern, they probably won't expect so much, but they will want to see that, okay, the moment you have been taught or you're exposed to stuff, you can pick things up.
Okay, thank you for answering my question.
Or yeah, I'm just seeing a question here in the chat box. Oh, when you run, for example, a week sprint, how do you incorporate it in, especially how it happens towards the dev cycle? Okay, like I said, it's not like you need to test everything as in form of UAT in quotes. It's based on when you need to ship things, when you need to move things live. You could have things still in your environment. You have your QA, do their own tests. You could just have your internal testing being done, and that's all. So it's not a necessity to just be having your UAT done every other day. Okay. So Alamide, I got it today.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Will be shared on the community group when it is available. Thank you, Monjola, for taking the time out to do this with us. Really, really appreciate this time. Thank you, everybody. Have yourself a great week ahead. For those that are applying for the Microsoft Challenge, right, the deadline is on Wednesday. If you are available and you would like to be part of the innovation session at Microsoft, right, because it's based on invitation, you cannot stumble in, right? If you stumble in, they will bounce you out. Anyways, that's just in a lighter mood. But yeah, um, please, if you are applying for that, then ensure that you send in your applications on or before 8 p.m., 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday, right? On or before 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday. Make sure that your application is sent in so that we can be able to review and make selections before be able to make selections before um, Friday, and then we can move on and make plans towards the innovation session at their office. So, Adubi, I can see your hands are up. Do you have a question?
Yeah, Banji, I wanted to ask regarding the Microsoft thing. I said, is there a link where we're
Yeah.
going to be applying to, and then what are the documentations that are supposed to be involved
No,
with that?
no, no. It has been sent to the community group. Are you not on the community group? Fumi sent all of those things yesterday on the
Please,
community group.
sorry,
Oh,
let
you
me
are not on
quickly.
the community group.
I
Yeah,
am, I
you check
am.
the community.
I'll check,
Yeah,
I'll check.
all the information has been sent to the community. You have to scroll up and check because the number of messages has been sent. But if you check the community group, you see all the messages, all the criteria, the application link, and all of
Okay,
that has been shared on. Yeah, so just check the community group
okay,
so
thank
to
you.
apply. Yeah. All right then. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have yourself a great night's rest. Enjoy the rest of your week. Let's go out there to build impactful products and solve problems and make the lives of people better. Have yourself a great week, everyone. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Olabanje. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.